Welcome to another episode of Car Caves, where I go and visit someone and their eclectic collection of hoarded vehicles, and today is no exception. I'm going here to meet a guy called Vernon who lives in Hampshire, and he's got a really wide variety of cars, everything from a Buick to a strange little camper van and lots of little Italian strange cars. Come on in. I'm Jonny Smith, welcome to the Late Break Show. First things first, Vernon, thanks for inviting me to your cave.
Pleasure. Good to see you.
There's a bit of everything going on. There's some seriously rare Italian things. But the first thing, apart from the Buick, which looks amazing, and the crazy camper van, is the Volvo. Now, this is the estate, the ES, which I actually prefer to the Coupe.
Right.
What's the story with this one?
It must have been just over 40 years ago. My dad bought it.
Wow.
I went with him to the garage at the time.
Yeah.
And I can remember there being a hole in the top of the front wing that they were repairing, getting it ready for sale.
40 years ago?
40 years ago. So it's probably less than 10 years old, this car, when it was having rust repairs.
Yeah.
And he fell in love with the shape.
Yeah.
And so he bought it, ran it for 5 years, very enthusiastic about it, and he went to a few Volvo meets in it. Yes, yeah.
You don't put stickers on your car like that lightly.
No, that's right.
You really have to be committed.
So it wasn't the everyday car. It was a special car.
Yeah.
And it developed a problem with the engine management system. It's a very crude early engine management system. I think there's something in the distributor that operates the fuel injection as well.
So it's injected?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. This is quite a high spec car because it's an auto.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's basically a shooting brake, fuel injected automatic Volvo.
Yeah.
And probably one of the most beautiful estate cars still, I think.
Yeah, I love the shape of it.
I think that the shape is stunning. You just got to look at this door handle, this piece of trim which goes all the way along and then down here, and that sort of haunch, which they've tried to replicate in loads of Volvos since, this sort of beautiful, it's just a stunning thing. And a glass.
One-piece glass tailgate.
Glass tailgate. I mean, what a crazy idea, but doesn't it look amazing? So it's still your dad's car? Or is
No, it's mine now.
It's yours now?
He's not dead or anything. I haven't inherited it.
Okay.
But no, he put it away in 1986 because of that running problem.
Yeah.
And it's sat in a garage ever since. So
just because of that?
Yeah.
By the way, the angry roller shutter.
Yeah.
It's very windy today. The weather's all over the shop, so you have to just bear with us. So this is the first and only Volvo in Vernon's collection, unless there is another one that you haven't told me about.
No, this is the only one.
Just checking.
So far.
Yeah. You'll notice that Vernon's car cave extends to outdoors. He can't fit all his cars in one place, and actually I have to say, you haven't managed to get all your cars here today.
No.
Because we haven't got the manpower to logistically move them all. So there's 2 cars missing from here.
There's the 2 Mercedes coupes.
Yes.
Yeah, so there's a 600 SEC.
Yeah.
1993.
Yeah.
And a 300 CE W124 series.
That's right.
Yeah, and they're both at home.
So they're at home. We will put pictures of those up because they are cool. This Vernon is stunning. This is not your usual American car of your sort of 67 Mustang, your 68 Charger. It's not your usual Yank car, but I have to say, just looking at the proportions of it and that concave back end, the back end is stunning. I love it.
It is nice, beautiful looking car. Isn't
Yeah.
it?
How long have you had it?
8 or 9 years now.
Have you?
Yeah. But I saw this one on eBay and I recognised it as a car I'd seen at a car show in Wales 4 years prior to that.
Yeah.
And I was taken by its condition really and its original look.
It does look really good.
Yeah.
It does look very, and the interior is mint. Absolutely mint. It's such a padded, quilted, I don't know what you call it. It's a great pattern though. Yeah.
Fortunately, I've not had to buy anything other than a starter motor for it since I've owned it. And it's just been one of the most reliable cars we've had.
Has it?
And the cheapest to live with as well.
Really?
Yeah.
This is lovely, Vernon.
Yeah, no, we love this one.
Good value?
Oh, amazing value. I don't know why they're not more popular.
I think people are scared of the reality of them.
Yeah, and maybe they need to be indoors perhaps. Although this one spends half its time outside.
Does it?
Yeah.
This one lives on the drive?
Yeah.
Does it?
Yeah, I've got a car cover, but it's not particularly effective.
No, this is lovely.
And every time I get in, it starts and runs. It's never failed an MOT. Cheap to insure. It's free tax. It doesn't even need an MOT now.
No. I've got to say, this has probably got the sexiest bumper overriders of any car I can remember. I love them. Brilliant.
Yeah. And it does 20 to the gallon.
It's just like a real Skylark bird, isn't it? Small, unassuming, nimble. What's that all about?
I've taken it around Castle Combe racetrack.
No, you haven't.
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Vernon, brilliant. I know you're into your Fiat Pandas, and this is kind of a Panda, isn't it? Seat Marbella.
Yeah.
But it's a proper camper van.
Yeah.
Have you ever actually camped in it?
Yeah, a couple of times. We've spent 2 nights in it.
2 nights?
Yeah, and it was fine. It was fine. It's COVID's intervened, so we haven't been able to try any longer than that recently.
You've got to see it in here. It's fascinating. It's brilliant. So I didn't even know that they made these.
What, the Seat or
I knew they
the
made
camper?
the Seat vans,
Yes.
and you have got a van, another van. There's a bit of a graveyard behind the camera of other cars.
Yeah.
But this is a proper...
This is a Danbury conversion on the van.
Okay.
So Danbury were an English company, British company. And yeah, they did these back in 1990, 91.
Is this rare?
Yeah, there's probably about half a dozen or so around.
Is that all?
With the pop top.
With the proper pop top?
Yeah.
I like the alloys.
Yeah, they're Alfa Romeo alloys.
Are they?
And they're magnesium as well.
You've got magnesium rims on your very small motorhome.
Yeah.
I think it's I just love the fact that this is why I wanted to come and meet Vernon, because he's got cars like the Buick, cars like this, a whole dungeon full of Pandas. It's just fascinating. Well, look, we've got to talk about Pandas, because that's one of the reasons why I've come to see Vernon's car cave. You've got a lot of Pandas.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got there's a Panda on the rotisserie there. There's a pink Panda back there in pieces. And obviously you've got this one, which is absolutely an immaculate Panda. Talk to me about this one, Vern, because this is mint.
Yes. I bought it about 6-7 years ago. It had 15,000 on the clock.
Is that all?
Yeah, it's a very low mileage.
Because I mean, the interior is gorgeous.
Yeah, it's still like new inside. Bought it from a fellow Fiat Motor Club member.
Yeah.
Initially, I was going to do some work on it, and we were going to sell it between us as a project. But I took it in for MOT, and as soon as it was on the ramp and I saw what it was like underneath, I just had to have it.
Is it that good?
Mine. Yeah. It's a funny thing with the early Pandas. They seem to rust on top, but the structural stuff underneath is really good.
Really?
Yeah.
What, they rust from the top down?
Yeah, you get patches here, and yeah, you get.
But not
rust.
on the second generation Pandas?
The second generation ones, they tend to rust in the sills and in the body seams where they're spot welded together.
Yeah.
The rust gets in there. I think with these early ones, perhaps the jigs that they put them together with were newer and crisper, or I don't know.
How strange.
But these seem to be a lot better on the welded, spot welded body seams.
Yeah. So you've fully restored this car?
No, it didn't really need that. It had a couple of patches that needed sorting out, rust patches, but that was only cosmetic.
Okay.
This scuttle panel is new.
Yeah.
Other
Loving the single wiper. You forget the simplicity of the early ones. This grille. Is Giugiaro design?
Well, this is the Panda in its purest original design. Really.
Yeah, this is pure Panda, right?
Yeah.
So this is not four-wheel drive. This one.
Not this one, no.
No.
Two-wheel drive. It's 903cc, 4-cylinder. Europe got the 2-cylinder 126 engine as well, so the Panda 30.
So you could buy a 2-cylinder Panda?
Yeah.
I'm not sure I knew that.
But this has been resprayed.
Yeah.
After doing the couple of patches.
It looks, I mean, I was looking down the side of it earlier and it looks absolutely gorgeous. So simple.
Yeah.
So utilitarian inside. I want to have a quick look actually. Gonna have a quick look. It's the layout of the dash. That sort of hammock dash. The tiny little cluster of switches. I don't know, the joy is in the simplicity.
Well, that's exactly why I got into Pandas, really.
Is it?
Yeah. I'm a slightly reluctant mechanic, and and these are just so easy to work on.
Yeah.
So easy to live with. The interior, you can take all the seats out in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So easy to keep it clean and tidy.
Yeah.
The seats are famous for having, you can make the back seat into a hammock.
Right.
There's 2 reclining positions for the back of the back seat. The front seats will run straight off the runners and you can take them out and have a picnic.
Brilliant.
Or it'll all go flat and make a double bed.
And these came out in
1980.
80.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is known as the Mark 1.
Yeah.
And it ran up until 1985.
I think we will have a look in the Panda pen in a bit.
You'll be surprised.
I've got a torch. I'm willing to. How many Pandas do you have, just so the viewers know?
I think it's 30.
30?
Yeah.
You didn't tell me it was that many. I thought you maybe had 13.
Well, I wanted to keep some surprises back for
30? You're basically stockpiling.
Yeah. I think about 10 of my cars have been given to me because they've loved the car. They've held on to it in a garage or on their drive for 10 years. One day they're going to get it back on the road, and then they decide it's got to go.
And it goes to you.
So they phone me up and say, "Will you just take it, please, and save it?"
Exotic pet refuge. Mr. Vernon Hibberd.
Yeah.
Look at this. Isn't it great? I mean, who doesn't like a Panda 4x4?
No, I've not met anyone yet.
No. I mean, Pandas are charming anyway. But when you put a 4x4 next to a normal one, it's just a little bit extra robust. And they're actually quite a rare car now in the UK anyway.
Yeah.
Because they were rotting when I was a kid. And I'm not a kid anymore. But I remember them always being cool. I remember noticing the badge on the back, the Steyr Poke badges, and always thinking, oh yeah, there's something about them there. They're like a little mountain goat. So this is your like most extreme Panda 4x4, Vernon.
Yeah.
Because as we know, there's a few other Panda 4x4s. So tell me about this one, because this is not stock.
No. This one, it was stock when I bought it.
Yeah.
I bought it from a friend. I found it for him in the first place, and he then owned it and used it around London for 6 years. And it was just a bog standard white 4x4. Looked like a 2-wheel drive. It was normal ride height, what have you. And
it's not normal ride height now, is it?
Not now, no. So he gave me first refusal when he wanted to sell it, so I got it off
of course you bought it back.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then I just had all these parts on the shelves, and I thought, make a bit of space. Let's just chuck as much as I can onto this car.
Okay.
And we did want a Panda for off-roading anyway.
So you do use this off-road?
Oh yeah, we used it a lot.
Have you?
Yep.
Brilliant.
Yeah, it's.
I've noticed there's some sump protection going on underneath, and there's some.
I've made the sump guard for it. The bull bar is an accessory that you could get for these anyway.
I remember seeing them wearing bull bars years ago.
Yeah. The suspension's been raised, blocks on the back between the spring and the axle.
Yeah, because they're leaf spring, right?
Yeah, still leaf spring. Yeah.
Just brilliant.
The same as the original.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But in '86 they went to coil spring on the back for the two-wheel drive.
Yeah.
But the 4x4 stayed with the leaf springs.
Well, it's the proven method, isn't it? Cart springs, big ride height.
Yep.
So the 4x4 came out in
'83. The Mark 1, the early one, came out in '83.
Yeah.
And then it changed to the Mark 2 in '86.
Okay. I've got to ask you how many Panda 4x4s you own.
10.
10?
10, yeah.
I really like these. And I haven't seen one for ages. Fiat Coupe.
Yes.
These distinct slashes, these lines. I think it's actually aged pretty well.
It's grown on me.
Has it?
I can remember when they first came out, I didn't really like the slashes.
Didn't you?
No, and I wasn't really sold on the style of it, on the shape.
Well, it was very modern, like ultra-modern.
Yeah.
Chris Bangle design, I'm sure.
Yes.
So what's the story with this? Is this one of those cars that you bought because it was very good value at the time and you couldn't resist it?
Yes.
I'm spying a pattern here.
Yeah, well, as I say, the cars I buy, they need to pay for themselves. And at the worst case scenario, I want to break even when I've had my fun with them and sold them on.
Yeah.
And so far, I was thinking about that in readiness for this. I think I've been quite successful at that.
This is the 20 valve turbo.
20 valve turbo LE.
Yeah. What does that mean?
So it's a limited edition.
Oh.
It's I think they made about 1,600 worldwide. This has got a plaque on by the mirror. It's number 1,119 up on the roof.
It's got red seat belts, Vernon.
Red seat belts, red seat inserts.
Yeah.
And that's specific to the LE.
And is it the red badging as well?
Yeah, the red badge is the same. And it also had dark grey inside the headlight.
Oh, okay, okay.
On the mirrors, the wheels, the grille, the petrol cap, and the surrounds for the backlights, because it's so original. It's had a one owner from new when I bought it.
Was it?
Yeah, and he was an oldish chap. He bought it as a retirement present for himself.
Wow.
And kept it 19 years, and then he was a bit too old to get in and out of it easily, so he decided to sell it.
You got wind of that?
Yeah.
Make it sound like you're an ambulance chaser. I'm sure you're not.
No. Well, it was quite coincidental, really. And we went to a car show at Brands Hatch, and it's an Italian Day car show. And my wife saw a yellow one of these.
Yeah, I love the yellow ones.
Normally, I have to choose my moments when I want to buy a car. Yeah. And
we all do.
Yeah, talk around carefully and gently. But she pushed this one. She really liked the car in yellow.
Yeah.
Her own Panda Cross is yellow.
Yeah.
And one of the other club members at the show was the editor of the magazine, and she said, "Oh, we've just had somebody phone up and say that they've got one for sale." No idea of where it was in the country, no idea of price. He just wanted it to go to a good home, and he didn't want it to go to a boy racer who was going to modify it. Yeah. So I phoned him up, and he was 12 miles away from me.
Oh my gosh, it was meant to be, Vernon.
Yeah. It's the Fiat Tipo floor pan, strengthened. It's about 3 times stronger than it was in the Tipo.
Yeah.
And the Alpha GTVs.
Yes.
They're based on this same floor pan.
Same floor pan. Okay. Okay.
I mean, the engines are pretty much bulletproof.
Are they? Which is ironic, given the access is so good.
Yeah.
But yet it never needs anything doing.
No.
I do like a 5.
Yes.
I do like a 5-pot.
Yeah. I had an Audi 90 for a short time, and that was a lovely sounding car.
It's a stunning sound. I love that engine a lot. This is great, Vernon.
It's very nice. He always kept it garaged. It was really well looked after by him previously, and it's just still totally original, not been messed with at all.
I like these. Fiat 850, but they did a non-coupe version, didn't they?
Yeah, this saloon, yeah.
Which my brother had as his first car when he was like 14. And we bought it off my next door neighbour because it was broken. And we just used to play around with it and learn how cars worked. These are so scarcely seen.
Yeah.
And I've noticed it's right-hand drive.
Yes, a UK car.
This was a UK car?
Yep.
So what's the deal here then?
Well, I was attracted to it because when I was 16 looking for my first car, I was going through all the specs of all the cars that I could afford to insure. And this was pretty much top of the list.
Was it?
Yeah.
What, like the bang for your buck kind of?
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but I ended up buying an MG 1100 instead.
Did you? What? Because you couldn't find one, or
couldn't find one? Yeah, they're just such a pretty shape.
They are.
They're like a baby Ferrari.
They are. They really are, aren't they? The
Yeah.
circular lights. It's got this little sort of ducktail kind of fastback.
Yeah.
I mean, what is this? 1971?
73.
73.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
So yeah, they've never been off my radar really since then. They faded into the background a bit for quite a few years.
Yeah.
But then when I was started to look for cars to invest in, I thought this would be a surefire bet.
And does it drive as good as you expected it to?
Yeah.
Does it?
Yeah, it does. Yeah. I mean, we're talking about 40 years in between.
Yeah, you don't want to have two rose tinted glasses.
No.
But I had to have a quick look at the engine just to familiarise myself with them, because they're a funny little motor.
Yeah.
Now, is this twin choke carb?
Yes.
Because it's the sport?
Yes, that's right. The saloon that your brother would have had, that would have been a single choke.
That's right. I know it's weird what you remember from when you're 11 or whatever I was.
I think it's about 45 brake horsepower for the saloon.
Okay.
52 for this.
Has this been restored?
No. I found this in an auction, and it was a deceased estate.
Yeah.
One lady owner from new.
Was it really?
Yeah, and
great looking little thing.
40,000 miles from new.
Has it really?
Yeah.
Well, because Vernon's car cave is so packed, we've had to move a couple of his cars around just to get some clear camera shots. And the wind is blowing like mad today, so you can hear the rattling roller shutter. And I seem to have inadvertently colour-coded my body with these two cars.
Very good,
today. I didn't even know I knew you had one yellow car.
Yeah.
I didn't know you had several. So let's talk about these two, Vern.
Okay.
It's one of those cars where you used to see Puntos all the time, and now you just don't.
No.
This is a special one.
It was the top of the range for the Mark 1.
Okay.
It superseded the Uno Turbo, really. So it's the same engine as the Uno Turbo, but it's gone up to 1,370 cc's, as opposed to 1,300 in the Mark 1 Unos. And yes, it's just a more refined car than the Uno Turbo.
I've always thought these look great. They did a convertible, I know, of the Punto as well, didn't they?
Yeah, that's right.
I always thought the Sporting was the top of the range, but it wasn't. The GT was the top of the range.
Yeah, it was pointed out to me by Fiat Motor Club.
Okay.
One of the editor of the magazine, she was contacted by the owner of this one. It was a lady owner.
Yeah.
She'd owned 2 Uno Turbos as company cars.
Really?
Yeah. And then she went to this one, and then she retired while she had this one, and just kept it.
And just bought it off the company?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, it was her company.
Okay.
Yeah. She loved it and contacted the motor club because she wanted it to go to a good home.
Yeah.
And I was 10 minutes away from where she lived.
It was meant to be, right?
So, yeah.
I just remember when the world was full of those. I don't remember when the world was full of these. This is a properly rare car.
Yeah.
Is that like right-hand drive, or is this an Italian import, or?
No, it's right-hand drive, 1,300.
Yeah.
A lot of the imports are only 1,100.
Okay.
And yes, been a UK car from new.
How on earth has that survived?
It's been owned by enthusiasts most of its life.
Okay.
It's been magazine featured a few times in its past.
Yeah.
and I was searching eBay one day.
Yeah.
I've always liked them, and I saw the advert for it. It read like it was a really good example.
Yeah.
The only problem was that it was the other end of the country, in Scotland.
It was in Scotland. Hang on. It was a 70s Fiat in Scotland, and it hasn't dissolved like an Alka-Seltzer. That is miraculous.
Yeah. Well, the owner in Scotland, he'd had it 3 years. He bought it to do the Mille Miglia in.
Right.
But when he got it, saw the condition of it, he couldn't bring himself to rip all the interior out and put a roll bar in it.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So it sat in a car showroom as a little conversation piece.
Yeah.
For 3 years, and he didn't even use it, I don't think.
So this is I love those backlights, and we'll get it off the ramp for some better shots in a bit. But so this is a class as a 128 coupe, or was it just a
3P?
3P.
Yeah, Tre Porte.
Ah, okay.
3-door in English.
Okay, okay. So it was the bigger car to the Fiat 127?
Yes.
Yeah. Because I don't remember these. I do remember the 127.
Okay. I bought it on price, really.
Right.
Because it just seemed cheap to me.
And there's not many other alternatives apart from importing one.
No, that's right. And fortunately, it turned out to be better than the advert suggested.
How many are left in the UK?
25.
Right. The 3P? 25 left.
Yeah. I bought it sight unseen, put a deposit down, and I flew up to Scotland. And after being sat in the showroom for 3 years, I then drove it home.
Oh my gosh.
Down to here.
And it got you? Got you home?
I had to call the AA out once.
Oh, only once?
Yeah.
Absolutely fine. Westfield. It's more than just a shopping centre. It was a car way before the shopping centre. What's the story with the Westfield then, Vernon?
It sort of came out of nowhere, really. I was...
I love this eclectic mind, this car mind that you have.
Yeah, well, I tend to buy cars that aren't going to cost me anything at the end of the day.
Okay.
So while I enjoy them, if I ever sell them, I hope to get my money back.
Sort of depreciation proof.
As an exercise, I added up all the total cost of all the buying prices of the cars that I've got. Yeah. And for the same money, I could probably buy an IC type. Okay. And I know what I'd rather have.
You'd rather have?
Yeah, I like
Panda Sanctuary with a couple of other cars sprinkled in.
Yeah.
Do you use this?
We used it briefly when I first bought it.
Okay.
It's 1992. This one.
Okay.
I've got
30.
Yeah, I've got no history with it at all, but from what I can work out, looking around the car and driving it, it's done 2,000 miles since it was built.
What?
So it's been sat for most of its life.
So what motor's that?
It's 1700 Crossflow.
Yeah.
It's built by Vulcan Engineering.
Yeah, sort of Vulcan rocker cover.
Now they were a company probably way back then. They're still going, I think, but they used to mass produce these tuned up engines.
Did they?
Yeah. So you could buy them different stages of tune.
Yeah.
And this is the top of the range. So it's bored out to 1700. It's probably got a fast road cam in it. And the twin 40s.
I was going to say nice side draft Webers.
Yeah.
Always good for throttle response.
Yes. Oh, it's definitely good for throttle
response.
I
bet it's awesome with throttle. But I mean, these still are up there with the most rewarding drivers' cars.
Yeah.
Right, Vernon's brought me into what he calls the Panda pen, and this is an area with no light or electricity, where there's loads of Pandas waiting for what, restoration?
Restoration if they're worthy of it.
Good enough.
Yeah, the special editions will get a full restoration.
So I've got my torch. We're gonna go in, but I mean, there's one car that isn't a Panda here that's hard to see. and unfortunately it's kind of wedged in at the moment. I'll put my torch on. It's a beautiful, beautiful Daimler Coupe XJC. Looks gorgeous. It looks absolutely gorgeous. But unfortunately we couldn't get it out because it doesn't run. It's decided to develop a fault and it's wedged in by Pandas. You've bought this as a good condition car.
Yeah, it still is.
This is a good condition car, isn't it?
Yeah, the engine needs a bit of work. The core plugs are leaking now.
Is it a straight six?
Straight six, yeah, 4.2.
See, this is my favourite, Daimler straight six. Oh, by the way, I didn't realise that the Fiat Panda isn't named after the animal.
No, is it?
It's a Roman goddess.
Yeah, the goddess of travellers or something.
That's right, who isn't called Panda, it's called Espanda or something.
That's right.
I want to say a huge thank you to Vernon for letting me come and poke around his sheds. I hope you've enjoyed this one. I want to say a massive thank you also to EBC Brakes, who proudly support the Car Caves playlist. There's a 15% discount code that I'll put down below off all of their products. Thanks for watching.